So what would I do if I had free reign to design a city from the ground up? What would Ashtown look like? It'd be a city where you'd want to smile. It'd be a city built on play. And we all want to be happy, so why are we living in such dull and pragmatic cities? Urban design right now is about ticking boxes rather than actually enjoying the space. In Ashtown, I'm going to focus more on the emotional effect of the city versus about its functionality. Because a happy city is a more prosperous and prosperous city. But before you get all hoity-toity, we're going to ignore all the logistics and other issues like public safety, because you have to sign a waiver to come to Ashtown. And I'm going to look at what it means to be a city built on play, using examples. The first example is from Germany, of all places, where they installed a Pong game on the traffic lights. So when you're waiting to cross the lights, you're playing Pong. It's safe because you're not jade walking. So Ashtown's going to be a lot more safer. But also, tell me if I didn't install these trampoline walkways, you wouldn't want to have a go on them. You'd be jumping up and down around the cities and malls. Obviously, you'd have your lid on your latte, but you'll get everywhere really fast. So we're actually going to be, Ashtown's going to be moving really fast. But it's not going to be expensive. I'm going to look how happy this hipster is on a really simple swing. So I'm going to install swings on all the public transport, because there's a big study saying the longer you commute, the more unhappy you are. So you're going to be really happy, like her. There's going to be those telescopes everywhere, and they're going to be free, and they're going to be everywhere because they kind of unlock when you're a kid. You want to explore them. They're not going to charge you because you don't want to think like, oh, it's a waste of money. I want you to just get excited. And look at this amazing bus stop. Sadly, the thing that I saw when I saw this was the first thing I thought was like, where's the advertising go? That's because I've been beaten down to thinking that all cities, everything needs to be really functional. Nothing needs to be about play. And that's kind of sad. We need to, I want you to expect more from Ashtown. The goods line is kind of nice, but it has, there's a ping pong table, there's a sand pit, they're the areas that you play. Everything else is just architecture porn. What would Ashtown do if we had the goods line? What would I add to it to make it a little bit more playful without actually blowing the budget? What about adding a giant, maze from top to bottom? You can explore the maze, or add some ramps so when you're riding with a bike, it's a little bit more exciting. These are all things you can add. But there's one thing that's going to be in every building in Ashtown. One thing that Ashtown is just going to have heaps of that everyone's going to love, and it is giant piano stairs. This is from a VW campaign where they actually found that people would prefer to use the stairs instead of the escalator because it was more fun. So Ashtown's going to be really healthy because everyone's going to be taking the stairs. But what about colour? There's a lot of studies that say colour affects your mood, both positive and negatively. So why do we always want to be in brown, grey and black cities? In Ashtown, how are we going to add a lot of colour? And what can we learn from that from around the world? Well, the easiest way is to just paint the city. That's how they painted favelas in Brazil. Turned it into a tourist attraction and also a sense of pride. But I'm also going to use the most colourful, creative and playful building block known to man. I already spoke about before. And that is, Lego. So this is an art piece where they repaired buildings using Lego pieces. This is great because it kind of creates a little bit of a conversation when you weren't expecting it. Plus we can mobilize all these little kids to fix the city for us for free because they're just going to be playing Lego. It's great. There's a guy who gave a great TED talk. He wrote the book Happy City, and he found that a happy city is a more social city. So I'm going to make Ashtown to be a more social city. But the thing is, you can't just tell people to be more social. You have to give them excuses. And play takes an important part of that. You need to give people avenues to play. Here's some art examples where, place your hand on one side, place a stranger hand on the other. There's a hug zone. I'd introduce the fist bump zone because guys are a lot more inclined to fist bump each other. And these are small, but they're small steps to having a more playful city. And I actually asked Clover Moore, I emailed her and said, for this talk, I said, what role does play take when designing the city for planning and events? And they said, play doesn't take any part. It's all about being creative. Check out the creative city strategy. But the problem with being creative is, being creative doesn't make you happier. That's actually the front screen, Finding the answer is important, but I think all we're doing is talking to the same demographic. We're not encouraging people to interact with each other. We're just encouraging people to stay in their little social circles, and that's kind of sad. Because what we need more of is no more ball games signs and more totem tennis. You know, Ashtown will be designed to be, you know, everyone will be interacting with friends and strangers, and we can be happy as this guy playing. Look at him, he's so happy. Just on the way to work, get a couple of swings in. So what I want to do is I'll leave you with a question like, how can you introduce play into your life, your workplace, or your city? You know, don't wait for someone else to do it. Start small and build from there, and don't forget to play. Thank you.